Hi there, this is Amanda Frankel with our Crafty Playdate, and I am making the third card in the series from our Christmas club for the July class of 2024. I was on a hiking trip, didn't get around to making the videos, so we're a little behind on videos, but classes are still happening every single month. We make 12 cards a month. We start in July, we finish in November. You can join for 1 month or as many as you have time for if you live in the Chicagoland area. If you don't, I can kit the class for you, and any die cuts would be cut out, ribbons would be cut, and bows tied, that kind of thing. But if there are stamps involved, it wouldn't be stamped. So for this particular card that we're making today, you'd get a lot of blank stuff. You'd get the tag with the ribbon, and you would get the white piece. This is a white piece on top of a white piece, but you would have to do your own background of some sort. So I will list the stamps below, and if they're current, you can definitely order them straight through my website below. Or if you have something at home that you want to use, I am all about use what you have when you can. It makes it nice. Anyway, this is the kit for this month. I'm going to move these out of the side. Check for other videos because I make all the videos for all the cards. And this is what we are making today. We are using 2 different stamp sets for this. This is Fragrant Forest. It's the background stamp. It actually is a really good fall stamp too. So I actually should make one with fall also. But anyway, this is Fragrant Forest, and that's our background stamp. And then we're using Greetings of the Season for our greeting. This is actually an online exclusive. It comes in a bundle with a die set that we're using also today. Let's see here. It is called Greetings of the Season, which kind of makes sense. And they are all dies that are tags that punch the hole for you and everything. And you can just stamp Merry Christmas and tie it onto a gift or put it on a card like we did here. But I love when it already has the hole punch and it's all set. So this is the set that goes with these words. And that is an online exclusive. It comes in part of a bigger suite also with some green cards. And if you check the card video for the most wonderful time of the year, I go through the whole bundle so that you can see everything that's included if you want the whole big package. But if you just want the stamps and dies, that's this bundle here. Okay, getting this all out of the way so we can get started. I used the Stamparatus. I haven't even washed it. I used the Stamparatus for this card only because when I'm using a big stamp, it just is easier for me to use, especially when I'm teaching a class. But if you don't have one, it's okay. We do have a big block that you can put the big size stamps on, and it works just as well. This is just something that I do. And that way I can also tell people like, oh, just put it here and it will all be covered by your ink. Okay, and now I am going to use Garden Green. This is a nice, easy card because it only uses 1 color of ink, 2 stamps, but it's all 1 color everything. White and Garden Green cardstock, etc. Oh no, actually there's no Garden Green card. I was thinking that was the background. So a lot of times when I make a card for a class, I will make audition cards, and I think originally I put it on a green background, but it was too much green around the edges. Okay, so I've inked up my stamp on the Stamparatus, and I'm just going to close it, and I'm going to give it a good rub. When you're using a big background stamp like this, you have to make sure that you give it a good rub. When you open it, if you're using the Stamparatus, if you notice there's an area that you don't like, see that little line right there? You probably can't even see it, but it's going to bother me. That's just where the ink pad seam was. See, if I do that, it leaves like a little seam. So that's just where the seam was. So I'm just going to ink it again. With the Stamparatus, the beauty is you can just close it and stamp again. If you're using another stamp, with a block that you're positioning it, you cannot do that. You will never match it up, especially on something this detailed. All right, it's going to lighten up as it dries, but look how perfect that is. That's the beauty of the Stamparatus. So the Stamparatus is retired, and I'm very sorry to say that to you. There are other things on the market that other brands make that are stamp positioning tools. And if you don't have one, even if it's not ours, you should probably get yourself one because it will make your life easy. You saw how I just fixed that by stamping it one more time just again. That just is really nice, especially if you're making something in a lot of bulk. What am I doing here? That looked crazy for a minute. If you're making something in bulk. So if I were making 100 of these Christmas cards to send out to my friends, I would not want to have to try and reposition it every single time. It's just way easier to do it that way. All right, so this piece is done and it is on dimensionals. So when I use dimensionals on this, I am going to be sure that I get my corners covered, right? And then I don't want to go right in the middle because that's where this is. So I'm kind of going to go like here and here, maybe. So like here and down here. That way I won't be stacking dimensionals from my tag directly on top of dimensionals for this, which will make my card a little bit high profile. And if you start, you know, adding on, stacking, it will be extra postage, which if you're sending 100 Christmas cards to your friends, you do not want to have to pay extra postage for each one. Okay. And I'm going to do that. All right, so now the tag. So I already cut my tag out of the white already so that I would not, you can see it there. It has like a stitching line around it. It's really cool. So that I would not have to do it on camera because it shakes the table, which, ugh. All right, but it is just this stamp on garden green. And I'm probably going to get my head in the way here because I need to get it positioned on here. Okay, so this is photopolymer, and I probably should have used a Stampin' Pierce mat. We'll see how lucky we got here. Oh, perfect. No problem. All right, good. So far, so good. And I am using a garden green ribbon that came in this Real Red and Garden Green ribbon pack. I think it's from last year. It's not current, I'm sorry. But I will list something that you could use instead in the description if I can. And then here is a trick for you. I want to tie this ribbon on like this. So I folded it in half. You saw that I did that. And now I'm using this. This is a dental floss threader. It's for if you have a bridge in your mouth, or I think that's what it's called. Anyway, it braces to clean under your braces. But they're the best at threading things. So I'm going to put this through the folded edge through the threader like this. So now I'm holding on to it. And now I am going to go in from the back. You can go front or back. It just changes a little bit the way this knot looks. Thread it through. And then here you have to be kind of careful because you don't want to rip this really narrow area. So give it a lot of support as you're pulling it through. I'm holding that little area so that it doesn't tear. If I had to thread this with that double, I would be sad. I'm going to kind of pull it. Okay, so I've pulled it through, and then that just comes off. And you can reuse those. Don't throw them away because it's there. These are kind of hard to find. They've changed the style. I love these plasticky ones. If you find them, buy all of them. All right, and now I'm going to take this, the little ends, and I'm going to go through the loop that I made. Okay, and then I'm slowly going to pull it from both sides to tighten it down there. And you can see how that just did that. I'm going to trim it down, but let's go ahead and stick it on first. Do I have any dimensionals that are just easier than that for this very moment? Here we go. You just need two, one here and one here. And that dental floss threader trick is the best. If you ever lose a shoelace, like it comes untied out of your shoe and you need to get the shoelace back through and the aglet has fallen off, you know, the little plastic piece at the end of the shoelace. I'm just going to trim this ribbon down. And so it's really hard to thread. Use one of these threaders. That one you can throw away if you used it on your shoes. Gross. Gross. Che schifo. I'm trying to learn Italian. And that's how you say gross. Gross is one of my favorite words. Oh, man, I trimmed him by accident. This is like cutting your bangs. You don't want to keep cutting it. We'll cut this way here. Schifo means gross in Italian. If somebody is Italian out there and wants to correct me, I will not be offended. All right, so there we go. There we go. That is this card. So hopefully you learned a little trick with this threader and using a big stamp. If you have any questions, definitely send me notes in the comments below. If you see something that you like and it's current, the links will be below. If not, if it's not current, I may suggest something else that is current, or just use something that you've got on hand. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you don't have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. But if you do have a demonstrator, support that person. Thank you so much for coming by. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.